Right. Hello, everyone. Good evening. My name is Nicole, and I am so happy to see you all here today. Welcome to our first English class together after such a long time. This is lesson one, and we are starting with something very important. As you can see in the screen, the letters or the alphabet. Now, I know some of you may already know a few letters, and some of you might be learning them for the first time. That is totally fine. That is totally okay. We are all here to learn, and we will help each other along the way. Okay? Today, we'll focus only on letters, the A to Z of English. These letters are the building blocks of everything we will read, we will write, and we will say. So every word in English is made from these letters. So if we learn them well, we'll have a strong foundation. You will have a strong foundation. We'll start later. I'll say each letter and you will repeat after me. We'll also listen how each letter sounds because sometimes the sounds is different from how it looks. And that is totally normal in English, and we'll practice it together. Later, we'll try spelling our names using the letters, and I'll show you how I spell mine, and then you can try yours. It's a fun way to learn and also get to know each other. This class is a safe space, so you don't need to be perfect, you just need to try. Mistakes are part of learning class, and I'll be here to guide you. So if you're not sure about something, just ask in the chat box. I am here to help. So take a deep breath, relax, and let us enjoy learning English together. Okay, ready? Let's begin with the alphabet. Before we start, let me show you what we will do today. These are our goals, the things we want to learn and practice all throughout the session. First, we'll say the English alphabet, all 26 letters. Then we'll learn how to spell our names using those letters. We'll also listen to beginning sounds like B for banana or C for cat. So this helps us hear letters sound at the start of words. We'll also practice saying the letters clearly and confidently. And by the end of the lesson, you'll be able to say the alphabet and spell your name out loud. So that's a great start to learning English language. Okay, let's look at the alphabet chart. Again, we are focusing on the letters today. Since this is level one, beginner class, we're going to start with the basics of English. First is on the letters. Let's look at the alphabet chart. There are, again, 26 letters in English. Each letter has a name and a sound. So I'll say each letter and you will repeat after me. Okay? All right. Let me read all the letters and its corresponding pronunciation. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Let's pause here. Say those with me again. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Now here, the first, row of letters A to G, you notice there are pronunciation guide below the letters. Those are what we call phonetic transcription. So it guides you how to properly pronounce these letters. But also when we try to include these letters in a word or yeah in a word or in a sentence, there are many pronunciation or enunciation that you can do. But here, when we try to read all these letters in the alphabet, we say A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Now let's continue. H, I, J, K, L, M, N. Let's say those together. H, I, J, K, L, M, N. Nice work. Next group. O, P, Q, R, S, T, U. Repeat with me. O, P, Q, R, S, T, U. Last group, V, W, Again, W, X, X, Y, Y, Z. Let's say those, the last row. V, V, W, X, Y, Z. Well done. Now, let's try saying all the letters. Let's start with A until Z. In three, two, one, go. Repeat after me, okay? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Okay, now we've said all letters. Let's do the full alphabet together again, slowly. Okay, A, B, C, D. Look, you try to prolong it. Okay, E, F, G, H, H. You loosen your jaw. H, I, J, K, L, L, M, M, short E sound. M, as well as in N, N, O, O, P, P, short E sound. Q, Q, R, R, S, S, T, T, U, U, V, V, W, W, X, X, Y, Y, and Z. Okay? Now we've said all the letters. Let's try to see each letter in much more detail for a moment. Of course, we'll start with the letter A. We are going to see how it should be pronounced, especially when you use it in a word or in a phrase. Again, our first letter is A. Let us begin with our first letter A. This is what you see on the left. That is the capital A and the small a on the right. Can you see the difference? Big A looks like a triangle with a line in the middle. Small a is round with a little tail. So that is the capital A and the small a. Let's say the letter together. How do we say letter A? A. Again, A. For a moment. I am so sorry for that. Let's go back. Again, our first letter is A. We try to loosen our jaw. A. Again, A. One more time. A. Good. Now, let's try writing it in the air. Or do you have any paper there? You can also use your finger. You can write in your table, on your laptop. That's already good enough. Let's try writing letter A. Again, big A. Let's start with big A. A, and then put a line in the middle, a small arrowhead, and then a line in the middle. Next is the small a, round with a tail. Again, round with a tail. Now this letter is very common in English. It's in many words like apple, ant, and animal. So we'll see some examples soon, but first let's get used to the sound. Say it with me again. A. Again, A. Great. Now we're going to add something. You see this, where was it? Okay. This is letter A. Still, we're still on the first letter. So here we are adding a word or set of letters that starts with A. Again, remember the sound of A? Say it again. A. So that's how we pronounce letter A. But if it's used in a word, how do we pronounce it? It's dropped. Like that's how it should be sound. Ah. Again, if you read the word or if you read the letter, it's A. But if you pronounce the letter, it's ah. Ah. So can you think of any words that start with A aside from what I've mentioned? I've already mentioned apple, ant, animal. Do you have any idea or any words that you know that starts with letter A? You can share it on the chat box. Any word? Well, let's see what word we get. As you can see here in our screen, our first word would be, what is the picture showing? That is the first picture on the left, that's apple because it's only one. But on the right, that's apples. So let's see. Yes. Again, these pictures shows apple on the left and apples on the right, signifying that there are many or a lot more than one apples there. Now, again, how do we pronounce the letter A there? We pronounce it as A. Again, A. It's in the beginning. A, apple. Can you hear the A at the beginning? A, apple. That is the starting sound. Let's say the letter and then the word together. A, 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 apple. A, A, A. So do you like apples? They are sweet, they are crunchy, red, green, or yellow. All apples start with A. So let's say it one more time. A, apple. Great. Now, let's go back to the letter A. It's good to repeat so we remember. Say it with me. A, A. How do we read it? A. But how do we pronounce it in a word? A. Again, A. So that is the letter A. We'll see another word with A next. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Okay, here's our next word. But there's a picture there. No word. What do you think is the picture showing? It starts with letter A. What is the picture showing? That is an animal. What animal is that? That is an alligator. Let's see. Yes, that's an alligator. A alligator. You see, it is the word alligator starts with letter A. That's the next word. Again, a alligator. Say it with me. A alligator. What is the name of the letter? A. How do we pronounce it? A. A alligator. Okay? Let's go back again. Our letter is A. How do we pronounce it? A. 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 Let's move on to the next word. Here's our next word. What do you think is this showing? That is, yes, that is an astronaut. Let's say it together. Astronaut. Again, astronaut. Can you hear the A at the beginning? Ah, astronaut. Let's break it down. Astronaut. So there are three parts. So there are three syllables. Clap with me. Astronaut. One more time. Astronaut. not. Each clap represent each part or each syllable. Say it again, the word astronaut. Do you know what an astronaut does? As you can see on the picture, they go to space. They wear, big suit and fly in the rockets. But today we just focus on the sound. What sound? A. From what letter? A. Again, a astronaut. Say it with me one last time. A astronaut. Okay, very good. So this is letter A. That's our first letter. Let's go back and see what are the different words we've tackled for this particular letter. We had apple and apples, alligator, and last one, astronaut. So A is the letter, name of the letter. How do we pronounce it? A, A, A. Apple, alligator, astronaut. Okay? Let's move on to our second letter B. Now, this is the what you see on the left, that's the capital B. On the right, that's the small b. Can you see the difference? Big B has two round bumps, one on top and one on the bottom. Small b has just one bump and a straight line. Now, let's say the letter together. B. Again, how do we read the letter B? What's the name of the letter? B. Okay, that's how we say it. Nice and smooth. All right. Now, this letter is also very common, just like letter A. We'll see some words that start with B soon, but first let's get used to the sound. Say it again with me. How do we read this letter? It's B, but how do we pronounce it in a word? It is B. Again, B, B. That's how we try to pronounce the word or the letter. Again, the name of the letter is B. How do we pronounce it? B, B. Again, B. So that is the second letter. Let's see. Okay. Now here, let's try to get ready for what words that starts with letter B or that has the sound of letter B, which is B. B. Okay? Now, what word you think this picture is showing? What is that thing? It starts with letter B. Our first word is ball. Again, ball. Say it with me. Ball. How do we pronounce letter B? B. B. Ball. Okay? Ball. So that is letter B. So how many syllables or how many parts in that word? There's only one. Let's try to clap. Ball. Ball. So there's only one syllable or there's only one part. So that is letter B. Do you like playing with a ball? Maybe, football or basketball, volleyball. So that's how we use this word. Let's say it again. Ball. Letter B, ball. So that is our first word for letter B. Next, let's go back to the letter B. Again, how do we read this letter? B. How do we pronounce it? B. B. Next. Oh, what's this word? What's this picture is showing? The word we're trying to find here is boy. It starts with letter B. Boy. Again, boy. What's the sound that the letter B makes? B, b, b. What's the word? Boy, boy. Now, can you think of other words with letter B? Maybe, let's say book, banana, or a baby. So there are many. Okay, there are many words that starts with letter B. The last one. Let's go back again. Our second letter in the alphabet, we have 26 letters. The second letter is letter B. How do we pronounce it? B, B, B. Okay, very good. You can always repeat after me, or you can do it while I'm doing it. Okay, so this is letter B. How do we pronounce it? B. Next, let's try. Oh, what is this picture showing? It starts with letter B. What do you think? That is an animal. That is, yes, that is bear. Again, bear. It starts with letter B. Again, what's the name of the letter? B. How do we pronounce it? B, B, B. What's the word here? Bear, bear. Again, bear. Okay, you're doing great. Let's take a short pause, then we'll move on to the next letter. Maybe 10 seconds. Again, so far, we've discussed the first two letters. Letter A, which is pronounced as A. Letter B, which is pronounced as B. Again, B. Let's go back. A, 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 A. Sample words: apple, alligator, astronaut. Next, B, 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 B. Ball, boy, bear. Now, let's move on to our next letter, the letter C. Now, this is a very useful letter in English. You'll see it in many words. It has a strong, clear sound. So let's look at it together. This is the capital C on the left and small c on the right. Can you see the shape? It looks like a half circle, like a smile if you try to flip the picture. Now let's try to say it together. This is, how do we read the letter? It is C. How do we pronounce it? Okay. How do we pronounce what's the letter? Letter C. How do we pronounce it? Okay, there's this K sound. Okay, that's letter C. Now let's see what are the words that shows or that starts with letter C. Oh, what's this animal? That is a cat. Again, cat. What's the first letter in the word? Letter C. How do we pronounce it? What's the word? Cat. Again, cat. Okay, next. Again, our word or our letter is letter C, the third letter in the alphabet. How do we pronounce it? Next word. Ooh, what's this word? That is cow. Again, cow. What's the letter? Letter C. How do we pronounce it? What's the word here? Cow. Next. This is the last one. What is this? That is a computer. Again, a computer. This is a long word. Again, this is a computer. What's the letter? Letter C. How do we pronounce it? What's the word here? Computer. Again, computer. Now for letter C, how do we read the letter? What's the name of the letter? Letter C. How do we pronounce it? What are the words that were mentioned? Cat, cow, and computer. Let's move on to the next letter. This is letter D. Again, let's learn the letter D. On the left, that is the capital D, and on the right, that is the small d. Big D or the capital D has a straight line and a round side, and then the smaller letter D has a round part first and then a line. So it's opposite to each other. So let's try to say the letter together. How do we read the letter? That's letter D. How do we pronounce it? We pronounce it as d, d, d. Now, D is also used in many words. So let's look at some examples together. Here's our first word. What do you think is this? It starts with letter D. That is a doll. Again, doll. What's the letter? Letter D. How do we pronounce it? D, d, d. You bring your tongue on the roof of your mouth. D, d, d. Doll. That's the word here. Next, again, the letter is D. How do we pronounce it? D, d, d. Another word. What do you think is this? That is ducks. Again, ducks. What's the letter? Letter D. How do we pronounce it? D, d, d. What's the word here? Ducks. Again, ducks. Next, what's the letter? Letter D. How do we pronounce it? D, d, d. What's the word here? What do you think is this? That is a dinosaur. Again, this is a dinosaur. What's the letter? Letter D. How do we pronounce it? D, d, d. What's the word here? Dinosaur. So that is our letter D. Next, we have letter E. We're learning the letter E. So on the right, this is capital E, and on the left, that is the capital E. On the right, that is the small e. Okay? Big E has three lines, top, middle, and bottom. Small e is round with a little hook. So that is the letter E. Now, again, how do we read this letter? It's letter E. How do we pronounce it? It's E. Again, E. It's much softer than how we read the letter. It's much softer. So how do we read the letter? It's letter E. How do we pronounce it? E. 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 Now let's look at the different words or examples of it. What's this animal? This is this is an elephant, or these are elephants. What's the letter? Letter E. How do we pronounce it? E. What's the word here? Elephants. Next. Oh, this is eggs. These are eggs. Again, what's the letter? Letter E. How do we pronounce it? E. 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 What's the word here? Eggs. Again, eggs. Next. Okay. Um, there are two words that start with letter E here. Again, what's the name of the letter? Letter E. How do we pronounce it? E. 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 What's the words here? First is enter. Again, enter. How about the second one? Second one is exit. Again, exit. Okay, you're doing great so far. Let's move on to another letter. Let's move on to the letter F. How do we read this letter? This is F. This is capital F on the left and small f on the right. Look at the shape. Big F has three lines, one long line down, and then two short lines across it. And then on the small f, it has a little curve and a line through the middle. How do we read this letter? This is letter F. But how do we pronounce it? It is, again, that's how we pronounce the letter F. F is a fun letter. It starts many words we use every day. Let's look at some examples here. An animal. What's this animal? This is a small animal with, a bushy tail. So this is a fox. Again, fox. What's the letter? Letter F. How do we pronounce it? What's the word here? Fox. So it starts with letter F. Next. This is Nemo. This is not Nemo. Okay. Yes, it's part of the movie, but we're talking about letter F here. What species Nemo belongs? What species Nemo belongs to? That is fish. Again, fish. What is our letter? Letter F. How do we pronounce it? What's our word here? Fish. 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 All right. Now, here, as you can see, we understand that fish live in water and they swim around. Okay, that's a fish. Next, last one. There's a hand there, but how many fingers is the hand showing? Let me count. One, two, three, four, and five. So there are five fingers here. Our word is five. Again, say it with me. Five. Again, five. What's our letter? F. How do we pronounce it? What's our word here? Five. Five. Now, five is a number, but today we're just learning the sound, okay? Next, we are going to move on with letter G. Again, letter G. This is the seventh letter of the alphabet. Now, this is capital G on the left. Look at the shape. Big G is round with a little line. And then next on the right, small g is round with a tail that goes down. Okay? Again, what's this letter? This is letter G. How do we pronounce it? We pronounce it as G. Again, G, G, G. You rely on here, inside here, in making the particular sound. G, G, G. Let's try to look at some examples. G is a strong letter. Mm. This is a girl. Again, what is our letter? Letter G. How do we pronounce it? G, G, G. What is our word here? Girl. Again, girl. Next. What's this animal? This is, that is a gorilla. Again, what's our letter? Letter G. How do we pronounce it? G, G, G. What's our word here? Gorilla. So this is a big animal, as you can see on the picture, that lives in the forest. They don't play guitars, okay? They don't play guitars. Next, we have, this is the last one. Letter G. It starts with letter G. There are only two letters. It shows a green signal. If there's a green signal, what does it mean? Especially, this is a traffic light. What does it mean if it shows green signal? That is, you go. So go is a short word we use every day. As simple as that. Again, what is our letter? Letter G. How do we pronounce it? G, G, G. What is our simple word here? Go, go, go. Okay? So let's try to finish. Let's go back. Again, our letter is letter G. How do we pronounce it? G, G, G. So you learned girl, gorilla, and go. It all start with G. Let's move on to letter H. Again, letter H. Now, this is capital H on the left and small h on the right. Look at the shape. Big H has two straight lines and a line across in the middle. Small h has a tall line and a little hump or a little bump. Okay? Now, again, this letter is H, but how do we pronounce it? It is, okay, that is, again, the letter is H. How do we pronounce it? You try to exhale with sound. Okay. H is a helpful letter. Let's try to see some examples. We have here. Our first word is helicopter. Again, it's a long word, but still we say it as helicopter. Again, what is our letter? Letter H. How do we say it? What is our word? Helicopter. Again, helicopter. Next. What is this bird? What type of bird is this? That is hummingbird. Again, this is a hummingbird. Now, what is our letter? Letter H. What is its pronunciation? What is our word here? I'm so sorry. Again, what is our word here? Hummingbird. Ha, hummingbird. Okay, so that is H. Another one is horses. Ho, ho, horses. Ha, 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 horses. Okay, this is letter H. So these particular animals are, they are big and they run fast. We know that. So let's try to finish with letter H. Again, our letter is H. How do we pronounce it? So you learned about helicopter, hummingbird, and horses, which all start with H. Let's move on to letter I. Again, I. We're learning about letter I. Now, this is capital I on the left, which has a straight line. Small I on the right, which has a dot on top. So I is an interesting letter. How do we pronounce this? We say it as E. E. Again, E. It's short and solid. E. Again, E. Compared to the fifth letter, which is letter E, we pronounce it as we pronounce it as loose. But here it is tight. E. E. It looks like you were smiling. E. Again, the name of the letter is I. But how do we pronounce it? E. 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 Let's see some words. It starts with letter I. Okay, that is an igloo. So this is a house made of ice, as you can see on the picture. Again, the word is igloo. What is our letter again? Letter I. How do we pronounce it? E. Again, E. What is our word? Igloo. Igloo. Okay? Next, we have, oh, this is an animal. What is this animal? Are we familiar with it? This is a long, lizard. Big lizard. That is an iguana. Again, iguana. What is our letter again? Letter I. How do we pronounce it? E. E. What is our word? Iguana. Iguana. Let's move on to the next and last word for letter I. We have insects. Insects. What is our letter? Letter I. How do we pronounce it? E. What is our word here? Insects. E. E. Insects. Okay. So we finished with letter I. Again, the name of the letter is I. I. But how do we pronounce it? E. 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 So you learned about igloo, iguana, and insects. Next, we move on to the 10th letter. Letter J. Again, J. So this is our 10th letter. Let's try to learn about this letter. On the left, that is the capital J, which has, big J, it curves down, while small j still curves down but has a dot on top. So this is the capital J, the small j. So let's try to see. This letter is letter J. That's the name of the letter. But how do we pronounce it? We pronounce it as G, G, G. Again, G, G, G. So that is letter J. It's close to how it is read, but not quite similar in a way because if we try to read a letter J, it's quite, loosen up. But if we try to pronounce the letter G, G, it's much tighter. Okay? Next, these are just some of the words that starts with letter J. We have jet, jet. What is our letter? Letter J. How do we pronounce it? G, G. What is our word here? Jet. Again, jet, j, jet. Sorry, jet. G. Our letter is J. Its pronunciation is G, G, G. Word here is jet. Next, another word. We have what is the cat doing? The cat is jumping. So this is jump. Again, what is our letter? Letter J. How do we pronounce it? G, G, G. What is our word here? Jump, jump. Okay. Next, we have jelly beans. Jelly beans. So these are small sweet candies. Okay. Again, what is our letter? Letter J. How do we pronounce it? G, G. What is our word here? Jelly beans. Jelly beans. So let's try to finish with letter J. So far, we've talked about letter J. Again, the letter is J. How do we pronounce it? G, G, G. What is the words that you've learned about that starts with letter J? You've learned about jet, jump, and jelly beans, which all start with J. Okay? You're doing fantastic so far. I hope everything's all right. Okay? Okay, let's try to pause for 10 seconds. Maybe it's overwhelming. Okay. All right. Everybody's relaxed. Sige. Okay, let's continue, of course. So far we've discussed or I've introduced you to the first 10 letters of the alphabet. Let's try to see to go back to the alphabet. Okay, for a moment. Okay, this one. These are again the letters or the alphabet, English alphabet. So far, what have we discussed? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. How do we pronounce A? A. B, B. C, K. D, D. E, E. F, F. G, G. H, H. I, E. J, G. Okay? And we are going to continue with the letter K. Let's go back. Okay. Letter K. All right. So this is the 11th letter. Again, this is letter K. K. How do we pronounce it? So it's the same with letter C. Again, this is letter K. How do we pronounce it? So K is a kicky letter. You know, it starts many fun words. So this one is the big K, the capital K, which has a straight line and then two diagonal lines, while small k has a tall line and then one diagonal leg, two diagonal lines still, but still on the small k, it has a longer vertical line compared to big K. Okay? Again, our letter is K. How do we pronounce it? These are some words. First is, I know you've thought of this first. That is kangaroo. Again, say it with me. Kangaroo. Kangaroo. Okay, there are three parts or syllables. Kangaroo. Again, this is kangaroo. Kangaroo. Can you hear the K sound at the beginning? Kangaroo. Again, what is our letter? Letter K. How do we pronounce it? What is our word here? Kangaroo. Again, kangaroo. All right, let's move on to another word. Mm, this is not cat. Yes, they have the same pronunciation, but it's not cat. The tinier version, we call them kittens. Again, kittens. Say it with me. Kittens. Again, kittens. So can you hear the K sound? Kittens. Okay. What is our letter? Letter K. How do we pronounce it? What is the word? Kittens. Kittens. Now, as you can see, they are so cute. These kittens, they are baby cats. They are small, they are playful. Okay? Again, kittens. Next. Mm, still letter K. What is the picture showing? It's part of a house where we cook, we store food, we wash dishes. That is the kitchen. Again, kitchen. One more word, kitchen. Can you hear the K in K sound in kitchen? It's at the beginning, right? So kitchen. What is our letter? Letter K. How do we pronounce it? Okay. What is the word here? Kitchen. Kitchen. Now, of course, I know, and I know you know that kitchen is where we cook food. Okay. So again, this is kitchen. Now we are finished with letter K. So Again, this is letter K. How do we pronounce it? So you've learned about kangaroo, kittens, and kitchen. Okay, let's move on to the next letter. Letter L. Letter L. But how do we pronounce this one? L, L, L. So this is the big L. It looks like a corner, one line down and one line across. Small L is just a straight vertical line. Okay? Then our next letter is letter L. How do we pronounce it? L, L, L. So that again, that is letter L. So L is a lovely letter. Let's look at some example words. That is lips. Again, lips. Our letter is L. How do we pronounce it? L, L, L. What is our word? Lips, lips. Okay, next. Still, letter L. We have here lug, lug. Again, what is our letter? Letter L. How do we pronounce it? L, L. Again, L. What is our word? Lug. Again, lug. Try saying these words in your end, okay? Repeat after me. All right. Let's have another word for letter L. There's a lot of something here. What are these? These are what we call lux. Again, lux. What is our letter? Letter L. How do we pronounce it? L. L. What is our word? Lux. Lux. So that is letter L. So we try to finish letter L. So again, our letter is L. How do we pronounce it? L. 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 So you've learned about the words lips, which is the soft part of your mouth, lug, which is a piece of wood, and locks, which keep things closed or safe. Let's move on to the next letter. This is letter M. Again, M. M. How do we pronounce it? Mm, mm, mm. Like a cow mooing. So this is letter M. We pronounce it as mm, mm, mm. So M is an interesting sound. We have here on the left, same with others, is our capital M, which has two peaks. One, two. So that is capital M, like a mountain. You can see on the background of this letter. Small t has two bumps. One, two. Big M has two mountains, two peaks. Small m has two bumps. So M is a magical letter. Let's look at some example words. Okay, here's our first M word. What is this picture showing? That is moon. Again, moon. Say it with me. Moon. Sorry. Again, what is our word? Moon. Can you hear the M sound in moon? The sound? What's the sound of letter M? Mm, mm, moon. Again, what is our letter? Letter M. What is its sound? Mm, mm, mm. That is moon. Moon. Next, we have, okay, this is another word. What is this picture showing? What's this particular thing that the person is riding? We call it as motorcycle. Okay? Again, motorcycle. Say it with me. Motorcycle. Motorcycle. We can hear the letter M sound, right? Motorcycle. So as you can see, a motorcycle is a fast bike with a motor. So here this is motorcycle. Again, what is our letter? Letter M. How do we pronounce it? Mm, mm, mm. What is our word here? Motorcycle. Next, one more word for letter M. That is mask. Mask. Say it with me. Mask. Can you hear the M sound? Of course, we can hear the M sound. Mm, mm, mask. Mask. Okay. Again, what is our letter here? Letter M. What is its corresponding sound? Mm, mm, mm. What is our word here? Mask. 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 So a mask, as you can see in the picture, it covers your face. Okay? Mask. So let's try to finish the letter M. So, so far, the latest is letter M. What's the pronunciation of it? Mm, mm, mm. You've learned about words like moon, motorcycle, and mask, which all start with letter M. Okay? So that is letter M. And this will be the first half of our English alphabet. Now, as you can see, again, these are the English alphabet, the different 26 letters of the English alphabet. So far, what we have discussed, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M. So we ended with letter M. Now let's try to go back and see if you remember how these words or how these letters are pronounced. Let's start with the first letter, letter A. How do you pronounce letter A? A, A. How about B? B, B. C, E, E, E. F, G, G, G. H, I, E, E. J, G, G. K, L, U, U. M, mm, mm. So those are the first half of the English alphabet. Okay, I hope everything is clear. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the chat box. I will be waiting. Okay, it's your time to ask any questions, any confusions, so that we can tap it on, we can clear it out. I'll be waiting for 20 seconds. Okay, I think there's none. As I see, there's no questions. That's good. Um, this is again the first half of English alphabet. We're going to continue it next Monday. So let's take a deep breath together and smile. You did it. Today we finished the first half of the English alphabet from A to M. So that's 13 letters. 13, 1, 3. You practiced the sounds. You try to trace the shapes, no? And of course, you try to learn new words like apple, ball, cat, also doll, elephant, fish, gorilla, helicopter, igloo, jar, jelly beans, kite, lion, and mouse. No, that's not the word. I forgot. But that's the first word that I remembered. So let's try to say the letters one more time, nice and slow, and we'll end. Again, A, B, A, B, B, C, D, D, E, F, G, G, H, E, I'm sorry, I, E, J, G, K, L, L, M, N, N, N. I'm sorry, M. We stop at letter M, which is the first half of our English alphabet. So you're learning so well. That's great. Now it's Friday, and that means we take a little break. You can rest, play, and maybe review the letters at home. If you have time, you can sing the alphabet song, trace the letters, or teach someone in your family. Next Monday, we'll continue with the second half from N to Z. That is where we will meet new letters like N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and all the way to Z. And we'll learn more fun words like nest, octopus, queen, and many, many more. So for now, give yourself a big clap. Say I finished A to M, and say I learn N to Z on Monday. I'm proud of you. You're doing a great job. See you all next week. Goodbye.